With the release of patch 7.4, the new raid tier has come out, which means more tome gear, crafted gear, dungeon gear, and raid gear has been added. In this video, I'm going to take you through all of the gear sets and what I think of them. If you're wondering what pieces you're going to want, this video is for you. Remember, the raid tier is going to be fun, the glams are going to be forever. To get started here, we are going to look at all of the new dungeon pieces. These come from Mistwake. This one that we're looking at right now happens to be the Mistwake Fending. It shares a model with the maiming gear, of course, very standard, very standard. The downside of these pieces, which I'm hoping will change later, is that they are not dyeable, which means you're locked into these colors. Luckily, most of them are black, like the color like black and gold or black and silver. And frankly, that's nice because otherwise trying to match these would be a pain. Although this black is like really dark, and because of the texture on it, it doesn't quite match our current black, which is annoying, but what are you gonna do? I kind of like it. It's not my favorite of the Mistwake pieces, but it's definitely not bad. It's interesting to me that the maiming one locks you into silver and blue instead of like the black, gold, and like a little bit of white. I kind of like this blue a lot though. All right, get ready for the absolute best piece, or at least one of the two best pieces from this dungeon. Like, this is by far the most popular. It is amazing, truthfully. This one is the striking one, and this is also the scouting one. They share a model, but obviously they're different colors. Personally, I like the scouting more, mostly because it's gold rather than silver, and I'm not a huge fan of the green on the striking one, but still, they're absolutely amazing. Like, amazing. And as soon as these become dyeable, these are going to be the coolest pieces ever. All right, now we have the aiming pieces. I kind of find it interesting. It shows your belly in the middle. It's probably not the same for guys, but not a huge fan of the orange. But otherwise, I'm mostly looking at the robes and the hoods here because those are the favorites of the pieces. I feel like by itself it would look really cool, but still not the absolute biggest fan of the orange. The hood is really nice though, compared to the other hoods. Okay, so this one is the casting and the healing ones, and it's probably my second favorite other than the scouting set. And I just personally, without the like bottoms and the shoes, I really like the robe piece. It just looks it's like shorter. It's not as long, which is nice for me personally. The scouting one is still definitely better, but this one has accents of purple, which I like. Or at least the casting one does. The healer one has the accents of blue. Moving right along, the next set of pieces that we're going to look into are going to be the courtly lover pieces. These are the crafted sets this tier, and I gotta tell you, I love them. As a woman, I think I appreciate the roses a lot. I don't know how the guys feel about it. Well, at least I know Tilt doesn't care, but for me, the roses are so cute. And honestly, this fending set here looks quite nice. Like, it's a little bulky on the bottom, but for like, if you wanted to put this on a caster, I think it would look nice. To me, it looks better than the caster set. And the hairpin's really cute. Now, obviously, it shares a set with maiming. All right, so these are the two sets dyed. It looks like the fending one leaves the gold accents. We're looking at turquoise blue, and neon pink. I think I like gold more than silver, which is why I'm more liking the fending. That's for sure. All right, so now we're going to look at the striking set. Now, in this particular set of gears for the courtly lovers, the striking is the unique one instead of the aiming. So this is the only one of its kind, and truthfully, it is probably the best. Truthfully, it's probably the best looking robe out of all of the pieces. Like, the arms look really nice. I like the sleeveless. I love all the ruffles, to be honest. I like the gold accents because I'm a gold girl. The bottoms are like, okay, you know, the temple chain's actually really cute. I like that you can see it even through the bangs. The shoes are okay. I don't love them, but I don't hate them either. Looking at it dyed, I find it interesting that it keeps the black. I kind of like it because if you look at like the middle here, it really like does like a whole gradient effect, which is unique actually. Obviously you're locked into your gold accents, and truthfully I don't mind the black like lock-in, but if you don't like it, that's totally okay too. Kinda wish you could dye the temple, like the chain part, instead of just the rose and the ribbon on the head. Alright, so moving on, this is the scouting and the aiming pieces. The color differences obviously are the same thing as the others. It's silver versus gold. So scouting here is silver and aiming is gold. I know it looks like black and blue and white and pink, but like once you dye it, that won't matter. It's just the metallic that you're locked. I like it. Not better than the other two. Like, I like the fending one more, and I like the striking one more, but it's still nice. Kind of want to see the boots without the pants really fast, just to see what it looks like. I don't know. That's not what I was expecting, so definitely not my favorite. All right, so these are the two of them dyed, obviously. Very bright. That's probably my color choice, but I find it interesting the choices that they made and what dyes. Like it's splitting the main chest body into two dyes. Unsure how I feel about it. Obviously with the turquoise and the neon pink, it kind of doesn't look great, but just to see the contrast, you know. Looking at the aiming ones, it dyed a little differently than the scouting. Kind of like the aiming one more in terms of the dye, because it kind of does like a solid for the base and then kind of does accents with the pink, versus the scouting is a lot more mixed. So now we're looking at the casting and the healing sets. They look the same, with the main exceptions being black and, is it purple or a blue? It's like an in-between color, I don't know what you want to call it. And then the white and the pink, obviously, and that weird black strip in the middle. But this one, it's pretty, don't get me wrong. It's a very beautiful robe, and truthfully, I like the hood, other than the fact that my ears very awkwardly stick out. But it's just so much coverage, you know? Like, it's like long sleeve, it's a turtleneck, it goes all the way down. If you like this much coverage, then it's beautiful. But, I don't know, it's a lot of coverage for me. I will argue, they dye nicely. The casting one is silver and the healing one is gold. But the casting one for dyes is nice. It has a lot of the pink accents with the main body being blue, but it's still just so much. Like, I definitely think the fending would look better on the caster. I might truthfully like the healer one in the dyed form a lot more. That's because you have this like the black strip down the middle that adds another color to your mix, but it kind of separates the pieces a lot. So it kind of looks more like, this is almost like the top half's like a little crop top type situation with an attached skirt on the side. I think that's more interesting personally, but it's still a heavy piece. All right, so our second to last set here of gear pieces that we're covering is the bygone pieces. These are the pieces you purchased with the new tombstone. The tombstone of, I want to say mnemonics, but that sounds wrong. Looks weird. It's like MN, you know? Anyways, so this is the fending set. It shares a piece with maiming. Shocking, I know. Okay, I'm gonna be really honest. It is giving train conductor. Yep, it's heavily giving train conductor, and I don't dislike it. Do I love it? No. But the robe's kind of nice. I'm not sure where I could see the hood, but it's kind of cute, honestly. It dyes. I don't know how to feel about the dye, because it dyes the metallic, which is like cool. Like we love that, but also at the same time, like when you dye the metallics, how often do you actually dye the metallics a color instead of just making them look like a metal? You know, like you're gonna dye it like one of the grays or the whites or the golds. You're not gonna dye this pink. But it's still nice, and I like that it gives you the option, and it kind of gives you a two-tone of the base dye. The maiming obviously gives you this gold, so the maiming doesn't dye the metallic. It gives you gold, and then it dyes the other accents, which, you know, actually is kind of nice, because then you can get more colors in there, a lot of multicolors instead, but it's down to personal preference. Speaking of conductors, we need to hand it over to Tilt to get an update on how things are going on his side of the tracks.
Oh, howdy there, Rhea. I don't want to derail the video for too long, so I'll make sure to... I'm sorry. I seem to have lost my train of thought. Anyways, we just left like and are headed to subscribe now. After that, we got that long trip all the way down to the comments section, but I'll update more as we get closer.
That's good to hear. I'm glad things are chugging along nicely. Just remember to stay safe and not tunnel vision on finishing your round. Anyways, we should get back to the video. I'm afraid to see what would happen if I make you guys wait any longer. So this is the striking and the scouting. They share a pair this time. And truthfully, I think this would look super cool on red mage. I know it's red, so obviously it gives it away. At least the striking is red. The scouting one is like black and blue. But if you dyed it red, either one, it looks really cool for red mage in my eyes. Not the hat, mostly just the robe. The gloves are very pointy too. Did you notice that? They have a lot of metal on them and they're very pointy. But I feel like a lot of these pieces would pair really well with like the Alexandrian pieces. They have a lot of the same themes. I like the laces a lot too. Okay, so as far as the striking dyes go, I don't know how I feel about it mixing the metallic with the accented and the gold. Like the shoes dye the metallic, the gloves dye the metallic, but then the body and the pants and the hat don't. I don't like that it's mixed like that, because then it's just too many. Then you're gonna try to match the metallic to the already gold on you. Unless you just turned it off, I guess, and you just didn't dye it. Then you lose the dye slot, which stinks. What are you gonna do? I like the side ribbon that goes down a lot. I don't like how pointy the shoes are. I feel like I'm about to stab someone as I'm walking. I hate this even more. The gloves don't change. What is happening on the top? It's two different, like, why did they split it up? Oh my god. And then the shoes, the main body being a metallic. Oh, that's terrible. That, what were they thinking? Like, oh, you could make it work in scenarios. Like if you played with colors more, could definitely work. But altogether, the same colors, not a fan. Not a fan. So I can't even. Oh my god. Okay, so this is aiming. And what do you mean? Like, okay. The goggles are giving Willy Wonka. You remember with not the one with Timothée Chalamet, but the one with Johnny Depp? Is that Johnny Depp? No. Wait. I don't know. The newer Willy Wonka, but not Timothée Chalamet. The actual, like, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Pretty sure it's Johnny Depp. Okay, so Johnny Depp. Moving on. But anyways, so it's still giving train conductor too. And are these supposed to be like reminiscent of like old Final Fantasies? Because I didn't play any other ones, so I don't actually know. But either way, it's an interesting vibe. Not a vibe that I'm looking for, but definitely an interesting vibe. So choice to the beholder or whatever. I'm sorry, it makes me chuckle because of the goggles. I wish so badly that it dyed the actual color of the goggles instead of keeping them orange. But everything else dyes nicely. You still have metallic-y accents here and there, which, as we know, is not my favorite. But yeah, I guess it's in certain scenarios. It's definitely unique. We'll give it that, right? Yeah. So per usual, casting is going to share a set with healing. Shocking information, I know. Now this one's actually, low-key kind of like this one a lot, because the hat, though, is giving pilot, which isn't a bad vibe, but it's kind of cute. I could see it working on like a machinist. However, I really like the chest piece, and I really like the shoes, to be honest. They are such a unique little booty. And the chest piece, very much so to me, could go on crafters. It's very, I think there's a very similar set as on a crafter that's like already a thing with like the little tie. But if you wanted another one, I like all the straps it has and the little book pouch on the side. Alright, so as far as the caster one dies, it interests me that you lock into I want to call it like a really dark brown, because it doesn't look black to me, it looks brown. At least according to my monitor. But it's interesting it locks you into that color instead of changing it to the secondary dye. At least on caster. I like the boots though. The boots are my favorite. They dye both things and they keep the gold. The shorts are so weird. I don't know how to feel about them. Okay, so for the healer set that dyes, I personally I don't like how the boots dye. I like how the caster boots dye versus these. But I like how the top dyes a lot more. Because this one, yeah, I like this one a lot more. It doesn't do the dual-sided colors, and it keeps it solid, and then adds in the accent with the pink. I like that more. So I take the healer top and the caster boots. And I don't care about the headpiece, personally. I'm not a machinist player. Although, Tilt is. Maybe I can make him a glam with this headpiece. And the last and final set we are going to look at is the heavyweight champion gear sets. The heavyweight title comes from the normal version, and the savage version unlocks the grand champion, which is exactly the same thing but dyeable. So we're looking at heavyweight. So this is the fending. It's, I have liked the past sets more than this one. This one, I get what they were trying to go for, we're the grand champion. It's supposed to be crazy and everything. However, it's a little too much for me personally. It shares a set with maiming, of course, but it's just, I don't know, it's just a lot. I think the robe, the chest piece with the jacket is probably my only favorite piece. Everything else is just too heavy. This is the fending set with the visor toggled, by the way. It looks cooler with the visor toggled. Before it just kind of looked like some headphones. Now it kind of actually looks like something. This is how they dye. And I like it. I think the fending one looks nice. I don't really have any notes, to be honest. It's silver that you lock into. You get both the pink and the blue in some good ways. I kind of like the multicolored blue that you get on some of the pieces, but it looks so robotic, the whole set. So the maiming one dyes a little bit differently. You get more locked into, it looks like the black instead of the actual colors you dye it. Not my favorite. I think I'd take the fending one over it just because I like having more control over the colors rather than, in this case, I like having more control over the colors rather than being locked into like this black and then having some blue and pink. Dyed with colors. I like that it dyes it. It has like a secondary pink on it too. Alright, so per usual, striking is going to share a set with scouting. Different colors, obviously. This one's black and purple. And then the scouting one is like a bluey light orange. Again, it's not my absolute favorite. I kind of like this robe a little bit. I like the length of it, but it's so clunky. It's too, the glasses low-key are very cute though. Like the glasses are a vibe. Okay. 1 point for the striking set because it dyes both parts of the glasses. Dyes the metallic and the screen. And you're locked into silver. But otherwise, I low-key kind of like how it dyes. Because it kind of like all like the I'm going to call them like the veins of the robe all dye the secondary color. And then everything else has the base and then a secondary color of the base. Still too clunky, but kind of cool. The glasses though? What? Like, I don't hate them, but they're definitely different. I think I like the striking ones more. Why is there a line? Now, the aiming piece is unique to aiming. Obviously, it usually is. So there's no other pieces like it. I kind of dig it. I kind of like the robe. Oh, you know where I could see this robe being really nice? On like a gatherer or something. If you wanted to look a little bit more, I'm going to use the word tough, but I don't like the shoes at all. But I kind of like the robe. I feel like you could soften it up with some lighter colors. And I don't quite understand the headpiece. It's kind of giving like mechanical bandana. Not a huge fan of how that dyed because why does it lock you into that yellow / green? It's like a neon-y yellowy green. And then it doesn't, why not just dye it? I hate when they do that. I hate when they like lock you into certain colors. So now when you go to dye it and stuff, it makes it so you can't have full creative freedom with it. Like, I don't hate the yellow, but now I feel like I can't dye it certain colors because it's gonna clash. I guess if you want a yellow vibe / green, depending on how your eyes see it. For the last set, this is the caster and the healer. Now, they don't actually fully share a set. Well, they kind of do. Alright, so for the caster and the healer sets, they have one slight difference, like literally one small difference, and that is the length of the back row. So the caster one here is obviously longer than the healer one. Now, again, if you like the mechanically robot look, then this is right up your alley in terms of like style. I don't absolutely love it, but I could definitely see it being used in certain scenarios. And I'm not gonna lie, the headpieces are really cute. I feel like you could pull these into like other glams, the headpieces. I really like the like screen situation happening. Now, the caster one dyes very interestingly here to me because this is the turquoise blue, and we've been looking at this entire video, and this color did not look like this. So this is clearly a darker, like metallic-y version of the blue, which truthfully creates for a interesting color thing. Like you can get some really cool colors out of this. You know what I mean? I like the glasses. I like that they almost dye the whole factor of the glasses. But again, look, you're locked into this like yellow accent, which is weird considering the whole thing was like green a second ago. Now, as far as the healing one goes, it looks kind of different, actually. It looks very different, but I think I like the long robe more on the caster. It's a little bit lighter here, so I think if you paired this top half with something cooler on the bottom, it might look nice, but the glasses look the exact same. So that is all of the combat gear pieces that were added in 7.4. Which ones are you excited for? Or what glams do you already have planned? I know I really like the Courtly Lover striking robe and the Mist Wake scouting piece. If this video was helpful, please leave a like. And if you like content like this, subscribe so you don't miss out on our next one. In fact, I have a whole playlist going over different glam pieces that are already in the game. It's already on screen. You should click that. I'll wait.